Okay, here we are back again. Top 5 success factors for CBD brand leaders. Thank you for being here. This is part 2.
Part 2.
Top 5 success factors for CBD brand leaders. By the way, this week's winner, Hemp Hooray, who also took the hemp strain survey and won a swag bag. I think they're in Missouri.
Just say thanks for taking that survey. We're learning lots of stuff. We're working with our guys to basically put the results out in real time so that people can see those results real time. But just keep putting them in there. Yeah. If you haven't taken the hemp survey, go onto our website, take the hemp survey, please. And we're just looking for, hey, what do people like about their strains, right?
Yeah.
And things like that.
That would be great. And then also follow us on all social media platforms, your favorite one, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Tumblr, TikTok. TikTok?
Yeah.
And
we're
YouTube.
On TikTok.
All right. That's good. And
we're
subscribe to
our
our
podcast. A little
podcast.
Dance, for us.
I am?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's going to be good.
I'm excited.
All right.
All right, so we're good for that. Oh, by the way, thank you for being here. If you are new here, we have part 1. Listen to that. This is going to be standalone. Today, we're going to be talking about the law and science of a brand for brand leaders, understanding the regulatory path, enable your pop-ups, and engage with the bot, the leaf at the lower right corner of the screen. If you close it, you can just simply reopen it. And if your screen gets frozen, just click on the button to reconnect. It'll refresh. You don't have to log out and log back in. This is a fun and safe place. No holds barred questions, simple or tough questions. Invite your friends. There will be a replay, by the way. And occasionally we'll have some poll questions. I'm not sure if we have any in this session, and explore all of our resources. We've got a lot of content out there for you, for your education. Live tour of our 5-ton-a-day facility, CBD jam sessions, extraction guides, distillation guides, calculator libraries, and our mini course library. So be here. This is going to be a good week. We got a lot to jump into. We're going to be talking more about CBD business opportunities, franchise CBD sales jobs, CBD extraction, we're going to be talking about packaging, advertising. Is it CBD legal in all 50 states? CBD stocks, CBD companies to invest in, best industries to invest in, etc. So this is going to be a great way to go. Let's do it. CBD business opportunities.
Let's do it.
5 success
Top
factors
5
for brand
leaders.
Let's go.
All right. So here we go, guys. It's going to be fun. We talked last week about this first one, which was plan. Get your investors involved early. Now we're going to really focus on the law and the science. And really what we're going to focus on is understanding at least a top level view of what the regulatory path is. We're going to be talking about packaging, like Randall just said. We're going to be talking about where it's legal, where it's not legal. We're going to be talking about just the basics of the regulatory path, and that will help you understand that this is a key success factor. You really have to understand the basic environment that your business is in. You have to understand what are the compliancy things that I need to be thinking about when I launch my brand. For example, if you can master those things, you'll be ahead of a lot of people.
Absolutely.
So we went over this last time, and that was essentially...
This is a great slide.
Yeah, this is just... basically, we asked a bunch of people what they thought was important with a brand in terms of what do they think the top factors are. And you can see here we have this quality, value proposition, and branding. You could almost think that this is all as one. So people really are saying, okay, they recognize, hey, the brand is important. The brand is really important. But you can see also this up here is a significant factor. People think that the law side of this and the regulatory compliance side of this is really important, okay? And when you go down to some of these other things, like the science here, for example, pain products, quality validation, all that stuff, that's really what these guys are talking about. So you can see it is a significant factor related to what people believe are actual success factors.
Sure.
So we're going to kind of go over the law and regulatory compliance. So number 2. So number 1 was get your investors involved early, right?
Get them involved.
Right. Okay.
Engage
Number
them.
2.
Understand the regulatory path.
Bam.
With lots of arrows and cool icons. Well done.
That's right. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So here are the arrows. Okay. So when you think regulatory path, what do you think of? Well, what do you think of?
I think of what's going to keep me out of trouble.
Right. Well, that's true. You don't want to get a letter from the FDA saying,
No.
hey, your product is mislabeled. It's got to come off the shelves, right?
That's right.
Okay, that's number 1. You don't want to be, pushing CBD products and say, state where it's not legal, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so you got to know that.
Because you're in trouble.
You
don't want to be in trouble.
Okay, you don't want to be making CBD products out of your bathtub either, do you guys? No, we don't do that kind of thing. Okay, so you want it. There are definite requirements for your production. Okay, and if you're not going to produce, you need to have a good method by which you would qualify a vendor.
Absolutely.
And how are you supposed to know if you're going to qualify a vendor if you don't even know how to do it yourself? So
That's right.
Okay, so. By the way, we have published a list on our website for qualifying a hemp processor.
Uh-huh.
Remember that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so so you guys can go get that list, but it's exhaustive. Okay, and if you go and you look through those questions and you send that off to your supplier and you say, hey, look, I want a brand here. I want to make sure that my brand promise is met.
Yep.
I want to go ahead and get you to fill this out. They should fill your
Absolutely.
questionnaire.
Yeah.
Okay. So then processes and quality systems, do they have that, or are you going to have that? What are your laboratory protocols and testing? You can't just use the same exact test and show that out for every lot.
Sure.
Okay, you can't do that. You got to have a lot by lot tracing trackability. Why do you have to have that? Well, in case you have to do a recall.
Exactly.
Okay, but so you have to know. Okay, look, I have this particular batch was made into this particular product that went on the shelf in this particular place, and in the event that there needs to be a recall, you can go back and notify everybody of that.
And you know exactly where it is
Right.
and what it is and what
Right.
to recall,
Right.
so you don't have to recall everything.
This navigating, labeling, and packaging requirements is quite. It can be pretty confusing because there's no government here in the United States that's saying, hey, you have to have this, and this, and this, and this, and this on your label. Okay. Yeah. If you look at the FDA, all their actions have been over mislabeling. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, well, a lot of it has been mislabeling, or
That's
you
right.
can't say this, or you can't make this claim associated with it, or you can't have a review written by someone who you sold it to that's on your website saying that, hey, this cured my cancer. Okay, you can't do that. That's a claim, okay?
That's right.
So things like that, okay? The navigating, the labeling, and packaging requirements, this is probably where this is where you're really gonna go sideways, I think. I mean, there's a lot of rules.
It is a
there.
little daunting, but we've been able to simplify it. Dr. Jon has simplified it somewhat. At least we can go there,
Yeah.
and then at least it's a start.
Right. Okay, and then assessment of the quality ingredients. So this
Perfect.
is the key aspects that I think are
This is
involved
very
in,
comprehensive.
Yeah,
Well
regulatory
done.
path. So what we're going to do is just a
Concise.
smattering.
This reminds me of Einstein.
Does it?
Yeah, because Einstein said, make everything as simple as possible, but no simpler.
Okay, this is pretty simple.
Well
okay,
done.
This is 35,000 foot level view. Okay, so let's hit the first one here real quick. Okay, CBD crash course, legal top line. Okay, this is a little dated. It's from 6/11/19, but I think we basically have the situation where there's only a couple states where you have to really watch out for hemp. Okay, you have to watch out how you transport. If you're transporting hemp, transporting any kind of flower. Idaho is one of those kind of lightning rod
And
states.
South Dakota.
Okay. And South Dakota, okay, and I think that's also changing. Okay, so
And apparently the Great Lakes.
yeah, they are too. In Canada, oh my gosh. Well, it's true. It is true. It's scheduled. It's a scheduled drug in Canada, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is. You can't. If you think that you can bring CBD over the border with no kind of license or legal or whatever, no, you're not. It's not true. You really have to know what you're doing there. You have to have good expertise. So there are many different rules that are contradictory from state to state. and sporadic law enforcement. Now, this year, I think that the FDA has been appropriated something like, I was surprised at the small amount of it, was like $5 million for CBD law enforcement.
Wow.
Okay. So in my view, what that means is they're going to pay some law firm, or they're going to pay some firm to go out and monitor everybody's claims. So maybe the next year, then they can go and start knocking on the door. I mean, you have to break the law in order for them to come knocking at your door, right?
Yes.
So, okay. That's the deal there. So there are contradictory state laws, sporadic enforcement from the FDA. This is why, this is why a lot of people are like, okay, well, how do I navigate this regulatory environment? The CBD, basically the CBD laws and the interim rules now are supposed to be rolled now into some more permanent rules, which will really help a lot with, basically making those defining the regulatory environment.
And again, this ties directly into your brand, because if you want to be an edgy brand that borders right on the edge of what is legal, you need to know what the line is.
Yeah, you need to know that.
Yeah, and that's a good brand.
Right. Am I going to pour $2 million into a brand where I don't even know the legal environment? Your investor is going to ask you about this. Okay.
Yes.
So get your own lawyer, and he's going to get you all, state by state update. There's some really good reports that are on the internet right now that are free. They just make sure you're using the latest one.
Yes.
Okay. This slide is a little old, but
it's still pretty accurate.
But it's still pretty accurate. Yes. Okay. So now let's go into some of the science and the quality aspects of this. Okay. So going to flip back here. Quality, purity labeling. Okay. Laboratory protocols, and really what the anatomy is of quality.
So we're going
within your
from
product.
Einstein to Da Vinci.
We're going from
anatomy.
Who's the lawyer? We just basically the laws to the anatomy of an oil product. Yeah, okay. So this is stuff that you need to know from the standpoint of law and science. Okay, oil quality is more than just a series of tests from third-party providers. A lot of people don't understand that. Okay, so in other words, you need to be able to articulate to your customers, to your to your investors, how I made this product. Okay, how is it made? What are the risks of contamination? Because every one of your investors, every one of your people you're talking to has been, they have heard about different methods of contaminations or contaminations. Did you use a validated test method? Okay, so I think it'd be really great if every one of our listeners could say, hey, look, I know what a validated test method is because I saw Dr. John's thing on validated test methods. And by the way, we do test for unknowns and things like that. That would be like, in my world, that would be so awesome. But I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen, but whatever. Where the starting materials come from. Can you articulate that? Right? Can you articulate where your starting materials came from? How has the oil been preserved? Where was it made? Is the product consistent? Have the ingredients been vetted? And are there leachables, extractables in the packaging? All of these are questions related to not only quality, but also regulatory questions, right? I mean, when they come into your facility and you show them your production in your bathtub, okay, it isn't gonna work, okay? You're gonna be shut down.
Exactly.
Okay, so if you come in, however, with a quality system, say, here's my quality system. I know here's all my validated processes that I have. Here's all my laboratory reports, and here's how I know that they are good because I have all the validated stuff, and I know.
And this
where
is
all
the
these
chain of
materials,
custody, where it came from, where
exactly,
blah, blah, blah.
and then where that oil has been preserved. Because I have stability tests on those.
Absolutely.
And then here's all the data for you. Look, at the end of the day, you need to have answers to all those questions. So that is a regulatory aspect of it. You would say, well, where are the standards for that? Well, you have to pick your standard, essentially. So, we've talked a little bit before about what that might look like if you're going to do like an EU GMP standard, or you're going to do a standard from like the US, like 21 CFR Part 111, or what are you going to do, right? Pick your standard, get certified to it, and hold to it. Are you going to do a food safety standard? Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, because
Get it done.
it's going to give you a quality system.
And it's not
you have
easy.
To have it.
It's not easy, but get it done. You
Right.
have to do it.
Yeah,
Make
you
it
gotta
happen.
do it.
And by the way, when we get to that last one,
Yeah.
you know, I was really trying to pay attention the last 30 seconds, but
The leachables
when we
and
got to the leachables, all I was thinking about is what the Amazon Queen and, you know, the Bogart and
Humphrey Bogart, really?
Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah, that's where your mind went?
That's where it went.
Really?
Because
The African queen.
The
Yeah.
African queen.
Yeah.
It wasn't because he had leeches all over him when he was dragging the boat through the Amazon.
I try to figure out how your mind works. It's awesome.
So I was
Is
trying
that-
to
No,
track.
that's not what leachables are. Okay, look,
Oh.
I got a bottle of water here. Okay, everybody knows what a leachable is.
Oh, they're not the little black things that stick to your leg?
No, let's go through this, guys. Okay. This plastic here is PET, probably. Let's check it out here. What
Okay.
does it say? Is it PET?
Do I have to pet it?
They're all it's
BPA free.
BPA free. Why do they say that?
I don't know.
Because BPA
'Cause that's
used
good.
to be a leachable or an extractable. And these guys are saying, oh, that leachable and extractable is not found in this plastic. So what they were worried about was the BPA that was in this plastic actually dissolving out of the plastic and into the water, and therefore you drink it. So that is what a leachable and an extractable is. So when you're
Gotcha.
thinking about your products and how they're packaged.
Note to
and how
self.
they're- note to self.
BPA free. Okay, so make
You
sure
can
that
put
when
that
you
on your
get water
package.
bottles, you leave it in your
I mean,
car.
why
That
not?
if it
You put a
doesn't
little
say
icon
BPA
on
free,
there that says
you're
BPA
drinking
free.
crap into your system.
Oh, look at this. It says silica 93 milligrams per liter.
Oh, what?
The pH is 7.7, so this is slightly basic.
Oh, this
water.
is just tap water.
This is not
Good
tap
alkaline water is like 9.2, 9.5.
but that's
Yeah.
going to dissolve
This is
your tongue.
Tap water is like 7.5, 7.7. So this is just, it's just, yes, 7.5, right?
It's got
Hey,
bicarbonate in it.
tell us.
Bicarbonate. That is a buffer, by the way, for
That is
those
a
of you who do not
bicarbonate
know.
of soda.
Okay. So, guys, look, I don't want to belabor this, which I am. The anatomy of a good oil product from a regulatory and a science standpoint, these are the questions that you're going to want to ask yourself. Okay.
Got it.
So, my other recommendation to you is to really understand what are the factors that give you where you can say, hey, look, I can claim that this is a clinical oil. Okay. And this is a little article that you guys should download. It's free on the web. It's a clinician's guide to cannabidiol and hemp oils. It was published by Mayo Clinic. Okay. By this,
It's a group of three
it's a group
doctors. Wow.
MDs.
And a BA.
Wow. Okay. So there you go. A BA and an MD.
2 MDs and a BA. I don't know what the BA is.
So what they're asking is, hey, bachelors of arts.
Okay.
That's what that means.
That's probably the writer.
Right? Yeah.
So
He
you can
wrote
actually-
the article and then
So Harrison deciphered Brent and Karen's handwriting.
Okay, this is verboten.
Sorry.
We cannot talk about this.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, the checklist though is what we really need to. And
that's
actually,
so
it's
much
quite
more
good.
fun.
First of all, current good manufacturing practices certification from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Okay, do you have it? People who want clinical grade oils, they demand quality.
Yes.
Why do they demand it? Because they don't want to get hurt with leachables and extractables and BPA and things like that. Okay, so they want to make sure that CGMP or GMP is being practiced by the supplier or by the people that they're buying it from. EU, Australian, Canadian organic certification. We're talking about organic now. Okay, so organic is different than FDA.
Yes.
The organic is a USDA certification. Look, that's just saying, hey, look, when we grew this stuff and then we extracted it, we showed the federal government or our certification body that we can maintain a perfectly pure pesticide-free product all the way through from the plant, from the ground, all the way through to your product. It's actually worth the dime.
That would be
that
good to track. Absolutely.
Yeah. So they're saying, hey, look, if you want a checklist for finding high quality stuff, organic certification is one of those. Guys, if you're not interested in organic certification, you should be. Okay. Number C, National Science Foundation International Certification. Okay, we're going to leave that one off. NSF. National Science Foundation. I don't even know what that is. I maybe I should, but it's the National Science Foundation.
Okay.
I used to get money from the NSF.
You should care more.
Well, I do care.
Okay.
They
NSF.
they liked me for a while.
Yeah.
Then,
Well, we should find out. Well,
Yeah.
that's good.
okay, number 2. Does the company have independent adverse event reporting program? And that is, in other words, if this is an adverse reporting. So if someone takes your product, how do they report that there was something wrong, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so that's something you need to think about. Is the product certified organic or eco-farmed? Forget about eco-farming because it has no certification.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm an eco-farmer. Oh, what does that mean? Doesn't mean anything. Okay, so organic is what, and then have the products been laboratory tested by batch confirmed, tetrahydrocannabinol levels of less than 0.3%, and no pesticides or heavy metals. I would add to that toxins.
Yes.
I would add to that toxins. So
Yes.
anyway, so look,
Do the test.
CO2 oils are clinical grade. I'll tell you, there's a couple different. There's no secret here that I'm a big fan of CO2 derived oils.
Yes.
That's not a secret. Okay.
Truth.
They don't have harmful residuals that ethanol extracts have. They have consistency, impurity, and potency. They're easy to formulate into safe and stable water-soluble oil or powder formulations. And CO2 oils may be USDA 100% organic certified. It's a lot easier, okay, because you don't have to buy ethanol, like hundreds of thousands of gallons of ethanol that is very expensive.
Very expensive.
For organic. So
Yes.
should you imagine? Okay.
Organic ethanol.
Yeah.
And
It's
I talk to people
very
who use it
expensive.
every day, but it's way expensive. Cost prohibitive nearly.
Yeah, you type that into the little calculator that we have.
Oh my
and
gosh.
it's like, oh my gosh, there's no way they can compete with CO2.
CO2 is like a nickel.
Yes.
Maybe in some
Per
instances in
pound.
remote part of the world, like 9 cents.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
in remote areas.
Yeah,
but it's cheap
There is price
versus-
gougers out there though.
Yes. Well, that's true.
Try Northern California. I mean, they were, that
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like 15 cents a pound.
Yeah,
20.
but still,
But,
even at
yeah.
that high
Even at that, yeah.
usury level at 15 cents a pound versus what is organic ethanol? I mean, regular
$5
ethanol,
again,
right?
$5 a pound, $5 a pound,
Oh
$6
my
a
gosh,
pound. What is
it's-
it? Something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, organic could be even more than that.
Oh, yeah.
That's just like the
Yeah.
normal food grade
It's
stuff. So-
crazy.
okay, CO2 oils can be made in the widest variety of products compared to ethanol extracts. Okay, that's because you get all your terpenes out; they're all pure, and then you get. So these are just my statements. Okay, here let's go on to the next one. So 4 labels to show your CBD is pure. You look for that clean and green CO2. This is a little self-serving because we happen to sell CO2 equipment.
I know. Yeah.
Okay.
And
That's all
it was a
right.
choice.
Whatever.
That
Yeah,
was
we
the
did that.
choice because of this reason. This was the research you did.
Look, okay, before I was a CO2 manufacturer of equipment, okay, I was deciding for myself what the best thing was, and I was looking at all the residuals that would come in with the solvents, and I had a very good spectrometer, and when I did the extraction with those, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's all in there. I can see it. And it's like, who cares? Because it's below the level.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's going to get you in trouble.
Exactly.
That to me. Okay, so
Okay.
I just can't do that. Ask a manufacturer if manufacturer has an on-site laboratory and they can rely solely on third-party testing. Okay, this is if you are white labeling something. And then the USDA organic. Okay, so look for that USDA organic label. And does the company manufacture the product or are they distributing the product? Okay. Here's the deal. There's nothing wrong with distributors, but sometimes distributors want to become manufacturers, and that's where the bathtubs come in because they don't have any scientific controls. They'll buy bulk from company A, and then they'll have a little white room in the back with some guy, basically filling cartridges and things like that. You got to watch out for that because they don't have the infrastructure, nor the certifications, nor the wherewithal to really maintain that science side of the brand. Okay. So these are the kind of analytical capabilities you want to look for in your supplier or in your own organization. Quality control laboratory, potency, period, identity, pesticides, residual solvents, toxins, fluorescence, and microbials plates. Okay.
Wow.
So those are the things that you're going to want to really either implement or when you qualify your supplier, you're going to want to make sure that
And this
they
is
have
on the
all that
list
stuff.
that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
This
it
is
is.
how you qualify
Right.
the people you work with. So
Right,
make
right,
sure you
right.
you surround yourself with a
Hey,
good team.
if you want help qualifying a supplier, come talk to us.
Yeah.
We happen to know how to do that, okay? And at least at the very minimum, we're going to give you some information. We'll get you that download. And if you have a question, we're here to help you. We're here to help you, right?
Got it.
So and then some hemp GMP requirements. Here you got buildings and facilities, equipment, control of components and containers, production, laboratory controls, records and reports, and holding and distribution. Okay, we have several podcasts that we have done already on GMP and GMP requirements. We went into them ad nauseum.
Go through those and
go through it.
This is a great downloadable look at this list. So what the description is, what it applies to, and what we have as our solutions as a processor.
Right, exactly. So we're there to help you out on these things. So if you're a processor, we're here to help you meet your GMP requirements. If you are a brand that is white labeling or whatever, we can help you with the assessment of your particular So those are the top 5 success factors. Number 1, get investors involved early.
Yes.
And then we just went over number 2, understand the regulatory path.
Which is awesome. And both of those will help your brand, and it'll help you refine and define your brand. And as you can see in the next segments, we're going to be going through several others that will help you really refine and define your brand and where you're going.
Right. So we went over some of the laws. We went over some of the regulatory requirements, the landscape, some of the quality processes. We touched on laboratory. We didn't really go into packaging and packaging requirements. Just suffice it to say that it's a really big deal.
Yes.
So just make sure that you're not making claims. And
we did talk about labeling and stuff. So
yeah. All right. So that's the summary.
That's excellent. Thank you for being here. Join us next time for number 3, which will be partners, choosing the right partners, and that's where we're headed next. Again, congratulations to Hemp Hooray, Missouri, who went through that hemp survey. Go ahead and take the hemp survey. Whatever is your favorite strain, take that. That would be great. Appreciate you being here. Make sure you ask our questions. Get the team is ready there answering your questions. Join us for a CBD jam session if you have specific questions here, and we'll either get you to the resources, point you in the right direction, or help you with specific answers. That'll be good.
One other thing. Go onto our website. We have a startup assessment quiz.
Oh, yeah.
So for those of you who are, who are basically starting up and you want to see how you rank, there's a series of questions and we've scored them, and you're going to get a score out. Mm-hmm. It's going to be kind of cool. Yeah. And it's going to be scored versus everybody else taking the assessment. So go ahead, take a look at that. You can get it on our website. It's called the Startup Assessment.
That'll be great. Thank you again for being here. Subscribe to our podcast. We are now on Amazon Music, iTunes, Google, or your other favorite platform. We're there, extractlab.com/podcast. We'll get you there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Right. We've got our calculator library, etc. Join us on all of your favorite social channels, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yes, everything. We're all good.
All right.
Boy, we did great on that timing. All right. And next week, register for next week, extractlab.com/set-list. And next week, again, we're going to continue this topic of the top 5 success factors for CBD brand leaders. And we're going to cover the partners. Choose the right partners.
All right.
Thank you for being here. Well done, man.
Bam.
Good.
All right. Take care, guys.